my name is Emily. Welcome to my channel, Emily A to Z. Today, I'm gonna go over the 2026 Magical Stitches plans, years, events. I guess Washington here is gonna help me. Mwah! If you're new here and you don't know, my name is Emily. I run a Facebook group called Magical Stitches where we focus on reading books and cross-stitching. Each year is a different theme, whether it is based around a series of books or a particular author, and we have a different book that we read each month, along with a set of 12 to 18 cross-stitch challenges that will directly relate to the events that happened in that book. For the year of 2026, I have a lot of very special plans. So in this video, I want to talk about what each monthly challenge is going to look like, the yearly challenge that I have set, and also the ultimate challenge that I have come up with. Let's start with the monthly challenges. Starting in January, we are wrapping up our 2025 year. In 2025, we did focus on the works of A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. We are reading the last book, book number 13, The End, in the month of January. So we read the book. There are 14 prompts for January that are all based off of the events that happened in this book. For example, the very first task, the very first prompt, is that the Baudelaires start this book trapped in a boat on the sea with Count Olaf. So you need to grab a work in progress, a project, a cross-stitch piece that has a boat or water somewhere in the piece and stitch on it for 200 stitches. And that's how the month generally goes. We read the book, and then I come up with a number of prompts, 12 to 18, that all relate to the book, that challenge you to work on your whips, your pieces, your projects. There can be any number of tasks. I can ask you to stitch in a particular color. I can ask you to find a whip that has something in it. I can even ask you, hey, can you stitch at night because of something that happened? You can work on anything you want because of this reason. I will never ask you to stitch on a specific object in your whip. Your project just has to have that item in it. All tasks require you to stitch 200 stitches. Unless I ask you to stitch in a specific color, then you can only need to do 100 stitches. You have options. You follow the task to the letter, stitch 200 stitches. If you do not have a whip that fits whatever the task is, you may sub out your oldest whip and work on it for the same amount, 200 stitches. If you do not have something that fits the prompt and you don't want to work on your oldest whip at this time, you can choose whatever you want to work on, but it will cost you an additional 300, so then you need to do 300 stitches on that project to consider the task completed. I ask for a starting photo and a stopping photo in your comments. And that's basically how it works. Each month, in addition to the stitching challenges, I also have a reading challenge. We read the book of the month, and then I set 3 additional prompts for you. And those can be anything from, it has to have a certain word in the title, or it needs to have a certain object on the cover, or it needs to be an award winner, or over 300 pages. Standard book challenge things. For 2026, all of our, Washington's laying on it. All of our 2026 book challenge prompts are coming, directly from the 2026 52 Book Club Reading Challenge. They created a book challenge that has 52 prompts, basically one for each week of the year. I have gone through the list of prompts and have chosen the ones we will do. Here's a little graphic. If you'll notice, there are certain ones that have an asterisk next to them. Those are ones that I have marked as the pieces, the items, the tasks that I will be using at some point in 2026. You don't know when they will be called, but they will be called at some point for you to tackle throughout the year. The rest of this list will be up to you. That will comprise the year-long challenge, and I'll cover that in a moment. But every month, 3 will be drawn from this list and used as our reading challenges. For example, the month of January, we have number 17, an author's bio mentions their dog. We have number 33, a standalone fantasy novel, and number 39, a book that cost you nothing. Those are our 3 challenges for the month of January. And that's basically how it works. February, we will not have an official book. There will still be 3 reading challenges that I've pulled from this list, but there's not an official book because I'm taking a brief little pause between finishing a series of unfortunate events before we then jump into the Hercule Poirot series. But there will be monthly stitching challenges in February, along with the introduction of the year-long game board and the ultimate stitching challenge. So January we're taking it a little easy, and then February we're going to dive into the rest of it. So what are the year-long challenges and the ultimate challenges that will start in February? We are using January as just kind of a wrap it up kind of month. So don't worry, it really kicks off in February. Our year-long challenges are so exciting. I'm personally excited. Let's start with the reading challenge first. It's basically what you guessed it, what I had mentioned here. We are going to be attempting to finish the 52 book club challenge. So if we pull up that graphic again, anything with an asterisk is going to be pulled up during the monthly reading challenges at some point during the year. Those will be covered. The rest of them, the ones without an asterisk, those are on you for the year-long reading challenge. If you choose to tackle the year-long reading challenge, you can complete these at any time you wish with any book that you wish, but they are all on you. 1 book per prompt, no doubling up books. 1 book per prompt. In addition, every couple months, the 52 Book Club will also release what they call mini challenges, where it's usually about 3 additional prompts for a set month. Based off of the journal, I did buy the journal, it looks like there will be 7 mini challenges at some point in 2026. I don't know when. It does not say when they will happen, but they have given us pages to record those mini challenges in this book, in the journal. I will be choosing 1 prompt from each of the mini challenges as well that will become part of the year-long, the monthly reading challenges. You will always know what it will be. When the graphics get released, I will mark an asterisk by them. It will go into the file section of the Facebook group, so you'll never miss out. You will always have that information. You'll know exactly what ones I'm gonna pull. You just don't know when, and then the rest will be up to you. That's the year-long. Basically, complete the full 2026 52 Book Club Challenge. That's our year-long challenge. For our year-long stitching challenge, I have created a story for you. Basically, I have created a clue board. This is what I am calling the Magical Stitches Mansion. Let me tell you the story of what we are doing for the year-long stitching challenge. Welcome to the Magical Stitches Mansion. I'm Emily, the personal assistant to D-Body, and I'm the one that called you here. A select group had been invited to stay for the weekend here at the mansion by D-Body. They arrived and I showed them around. They were allowed to explore the grounds before dinner. They were granted access to everywhere, including the foyer, the mud room, the dining room, the office, the bell tower, the game room, the master bedroom, and even the basement. But then suddenly the power cut out, and it took about 20 minutes before the lights came back on. And when they did, I found D-Body dead here on the front steps of the mansion, and it's awful. I think it was one of the guests, and that's why I've called you here. It appears that my boss had uncovered a nasty secret about each of the members of this group, a secret I think that they might kill for. But among them, you should know who all is here. We have Pharmacist Pink, Reporter Red, Ornithologist Orange, Yacht Captain Yellow, Gardener Green, Bookseller Blue, Psychologist Purple, and Biologist Brown. Now that I'm thinking about it, I do also remember noticing that they each had a different item on their person as they were, walking around. And those could have been used as a murder weapon, now that I really think about it. There was a bottle of pills, a candlestick, gardening shears, a computer cable, a knife, a bottle of wine, a heavy book, and a pool cue. Why were they carrying those around? I don't know, but I think one of them did this and left them here to be found. And I did manage to lock all of them in the library before I called you, but I did lose the key somewhere in the mansion. So, on top of finding out the murderer and what weapon they used, you're gonna have to find the key to the library as well. Sorry. But you're gonna have to travel to each of the rooms, every single room, and find out who was in each one. And then once you figure it all out, you can then go to the library and arrest the killer. Right? Forgive my bad acting. But yes, we have a story. A murder has happened, and it is up to you, my friend, to solve the crime. I am just a poor, bumbling idiot. I don't think I make a very good personal assistant to D-Body. Basically, you'll pick any character that you want. Their starting places are spread out all along the board, and then you will roll a die and move that many spaces. A 6-sided die. Whatever number you roll, you'll multiply that by 100 and complete the number of stitches on any whip or whips of your choosing. I am not picky. You can do a mix and match. You move your corresponding number of spaces, roll the die, rinse and repeat. So you roll a die, it comes up as a 2. You can move 2 spaces and you stitch 200 stitches. And then you roll again, the 3. 3 times 100 is 300, 300 stitches, you've moved your 3 spaces, and so on and so forth. If you roll a higher number than what you need to get into a room, say you roll a 6, so that would cost you 600 stitches, but you only need 3 steps to get into a room, you only need to do 300 stitches. You do whatever amount you need for the movement. Once you make it into a room, you will need to do 1,000 stitches on whatever whip you want, or whips that you want, to get the information within. That's basically, you're in that room doing your investigation, so it's going to take some time. You've done your 1,000 stitches. After you've done your 1,000 stitches, you will learn who was in that room with what weapon, if someone was in that room. You can always go back into a room if you want, or like use that to like cross through a space, but you won't ever learn any additional information going into that room. So you won't need to do 1,000 stitches because you're not going to learn anything new. You've already investigated that room, you're good. If you are in any of the corner rooms, they are connected. You can see there's a little icon. They are connected by a secret passage. If you choose to use the secret passage, it will cost you 600 stitches. You're basically jumping completely across the board, so it's only fair that it costs you the full total amount of what you may roll, which would be 600 stitches. After you have to visit every single room in order to gain all of the information. There is no guesswork involved. I am not making this hard on myself. I don't have the mental bandwidth to like field guesses. So this is a way you have to travel every room, you will unlock a room, and you will get information. Then you go to the next room, unlock the room, get information. Besides, there is a key somewhere in this mansion that I, the bumbling PA, have dropped somewhere. You need to find that key in order to unlock the library where all of the suspects are being held. After you've gone to all of the rooms, you've gathered all of the necessary information, you have found the key, you will head to the library, which is that center space in the room. Unlock the door by completing 1,000 stitches and arrest the killer. And you've solved it. By the end of your investigation, if you have traveled to all of the rooms, you will know who the killer is. I will not just tell you who the killer is, but you will know. You will not have to guess. You will know because it will be the only person that you do not have information on. You will not have information on like where that person was, but you'll know who they were and what weapon they had. I hope that makes sense. This will be self-led. I'm working on an honor system here, so please play responsibly. Basically, I will have files. Once you've unlocked a room, there will be a document that will say, you've unlocked the dining room. Click here. You've unlocked the bell tower. Click here. And that's how you will learn your information. I already have it all figured out. I know exactly who the killer is. I know what is going on. It is up to you to figure it out. I hope that makes sense. I'm very excited. I spent a lot of time working on this, and I feel a little silly, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm also very excited to see how this plays out. I just didn't want to have all of this burden on me of like having to field guesses from people that wanted to play. You don't have to guess. The information will be laid out to you in a story linear progression. You just have to work for it and just like unlock that information. But that is the year-long challenge. If you finish early for whatever reason, you're a fast stitcher, or you're not doing any of the like monthly prompts, because this is completely separate. You can't use your stitching for the monthly on the yearly. Those are separate. So if you don't do any of the monthly prompts, but you focus entirely on, say, the year long, so all of your stitches goes into that, you may finish it before the year is over. Don't worry, I can make a secondary game. So there are so many options. But just like one book per prompt, you cannot do 200 stitches for a monthly prompt and also count those 200 stitches for the yearly. These two things are separate. They are completely separate. For the ultimate 2026 challenge, we're so close to being done. I know this is a lot of information. The ultimate challenges for reading is basically you're caught up on the monthly challenges, or you feel pretty good with your yearly, you're looking for something else. The ultimate challenge is to attempt, it is also a 52 book club thing, it is to attempt their connections challenge. I will link their video in my description because she explains how it works. But basically, you start with one book and then you have to connect it to the next prompt. There are 21 books that you will end up reading, I believe, 21 or 22. Book one, whatever you want to read. I pick Take My Hand. Then I finish this book, I look at the prompt number 2, and I think it's like read an author that is from the same country as this author. And that's what leads me to my next book. Prompt number 3 is connected to book number 2, which was connected to book number 1, and so on down the list. You are making a giant connection, and it ends up being a big circle. Like your very last prompt has to connect to the book before it. Like 21 has to connect to book 20 and book number 1. That's why this is going to be the ultimate reading challenge, because it is all linear. You have to start at book 1 and then go to book 2 and book 3, and they are all connected. This is the ultimate book challenge. You have all year to connect it. So if you read something and it doesn't work for anything else, maybe check out the ultimate reading challenge if you would like to participate in that. The ultimate stitching challenge, it's kind of the same thing. I feel like I've put a lot of emphasis on the yearly challenge because those are the things that I want people to really be participating in. But the ultimate stitching challenge is always in my head like this is as much as you can stitch kind of a thing. This is how a journey, a snapshot of like your entire year of stitching. So your ultimate stitching challenge can count for everything. You can use all of your stitches across the board in the ultimate challenge. We are taking it back in time. This is an older Magical Stitches idea from when I was not running Magical Stitches, but someone else was, and we are going to be stitching the books. And how this will work is I will take however many pages of the novel there is. Like this one has a total of, my copy, I will pull these from like Goodreads so it's uniform. My copy has 215 pages. I will take that and times it by 100, which gives me 21,500 pages. That's how many stitches you have to stitch to consider this book stitched. So we are stitching the books. You take the page count and times it by 100. I will have all of that listed. So you will know exactly how many pages each book is and then how many stitches they're worth. And that's why it's ultimate. This book is 21,500 stitches. It's a lot. But this is the one thing where you can double up on. Anything you stitch this year counts towards the ultimate stitching challenge. Because for me, again, it's just like a record of your stitching year. And that's basically it. I know I threw a lot of information at you, but I'm very excited. I am extremely excited for this year. The only other thing that I do want to mention, because this will be a special perk for my Magical Stitches members, is that every month that we read a Hercule Poirot book, I will be filming my own attempt at solving the novel. So, when we start this first book, The Mysterious Affair at Styles, in March, I will post at the end of the month. That way it gives everyone else a chance to read it if they so choose. So like that last weekend of March, the 27th or whatever, 27th, 28th, somewhere around the end of the month, I will post a video that is just for members of Magical Stitches of me attempting to solve this book. We will do a solve along, if you will. I'm really intrigued to see if I can solve the novels or if I get it wrong. So it's going to be me walking through, reading this, laying out all the clues, and seeing if I can figure it out. I am highly inspired by Gavin of Gavin Reads It All, who has also done like a Christie solve along, and any other people that have also like attempted this. Like, can I solve it? Or is, you know, the Queen of Mystery going to best me? Probably so, but I will have a special monthly video just for Magical Stitches members. Thank you for being here kind of thing. Let's have some fun this year. And that is officially it. So as a recap, monthly challenges every single month. Book of the month with corresponding cross-stitch prompts. 3 additional reading challenges if you so choose. Year-long challenge, we've got our murder mystery that we are trying to solve with our stitches. Please join in. Along with our 52 Book Club reading challenge. And then the ultimate challenge, Stitch the Books, Complete the Connections reading challenge. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited. Thanks for being here.